What's going on, guys? It's Music Misfit here, back again with the podcast, back with the lads. You guys want to introduce yourselves again?
Yeah, sure. Hey, everybody. It's Avonlight here.
What's going on? Wilder here.
And we're back. Let's get right into our first topic of the day. Let's talk about first things first is the Smosh shutdown that just happened earlier this week.
Rip in
Talk,
peace, my lads. Rip
talk about
in peace.
something that fucking came out of left field, though. Like,
Well, yeah,
they had,
mostly because from what I've been seeing of everybody talking about it, like Jovenshire and Lasercorn especially, and of course Anthony chimed in, even though he's left. Although I'm glad he did, but they were supposed to be not released till January, but then Defy Media, the company that owns Smosh, just said, "Nope, we're fired now. We're done. See you later. Have a nice day." It's like, fuck,
What's
what? What do you
most
mean?
exciting?
See, what worries me is like they had a lot of good concept they were producing out a lot faster out of nowhere. Like for example,
They were literally hitting record numbers.
yeah, like the Smosh Games channel is hitting up, and I know their whole series, the Honest Game Trailers, which honestly is one of my favorite series on YouTube right now, is like hitting like a
Sweet.
lot of good new shit, and now it's just all of a sudden gone. This kind of upsetting.
Yeah. Um, they did say that they are looking for a new home, which I really, really hope that they find one. Because I really enjoy Smosh. I love nearly all of them. But I'm mostly is maybe mean spirited is to say I'm mostly hoping for Smosh Games to at least be back because I love the Smosh Games crew. I've been watching them since Smosh Games was created, and like they're just so much fun.
What I don't understand though is that why can't they just produce their content independently without a company at this point, or why can't they start their own company? I mean, they should have the following and the resources by this point to just incorporate themselves, right?
I think the thing is that like the way that they do a lot of the things is such a high production value that they probably don't have the resources to do that because
But
like that was one of the reason that was one of the things that the company brought is that they had a lot more resources available to them with it. And
And you
so
have
the
to
whole
think. You have to think fucking like with honest game trailers or things like that. Um, Things made while they were under the company and everything. They're contractually obligated to not make that content anymore while not up. So even if they decided to just make a new YouTube channel under a completely different name, that kind of shit, they couldn't exactly make content like they used to because all that content would be copyrighted and owned by the company that owned them.
I believe a couple of the Smosh Games crew had to legitimately take like legal action to get their own channels and be able to use them and whatnot.
So does that mean that we're never going to see another like honest game trailers ever just because of the company having rights to that, or are they making any
Maybe
effort to
not.
fight it?
I don't know because I believe the entire company itself is going under. Like it's not just them shutting down Smosh; it's the entire company going bankrupt. So if Smosh gets bought up, then that new company would get the rights to all that, and they'd absolutely be able to restart everything. It's just a matter of if they bought Smosh, are they also buying Smosh games and whatnot? Because they don't have to necessarily buy all of it. They could just
Well,
buy Smosh and then leave Smosh games out to dry.
well, I guess then there leaves another question, more of a wild speculation, is what company would you imagine would consider buying up Smosh?
I personally don't know enough media companies to really judge that.
I
We can't even rule out like Disney.
I would actually argue that a really strong contender for buying out Smosh might be Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, that's a good point because I know Cowchop partnered with them a while, I think just last year or earlier this year.
Yeah, and Rooster Teeth's still going pretty strong. Like I don't know if you've gotten this to keep up with their content, but they're still wow. The fact that they're still growing even to this day is just staggering to me.
Well,
And
they do a lot of, from what I, at least from what I know, they do a lot of smart business stuff, and they have a lot of really good creators under their belt.
Yeah. I feel like that just goes to show that, like, if you're making the smart business decisions, whether it's through social media or just in general, you're just going to keep growing. Whereas if you're just doing something for a cash grab, some things are just going to fall apart. And I think that's kind of the lesson to be learned here with Smosh.
I mean, sadly in this day and age, there are absolutely cash grab people that are freaking huge right now. Cough,
Yeah,
cough, Paul Brothers, cough, cough.
yeah, but that's not to say that they're going to be huge forever. Like that kind of thing always
Well,
ends
I
up
don't think
dying off
anybody's going to
sooner
be
or
huge
later.
forever. Because
I know.
the audiences change and they will eventually adapt. And even if that company or group is still technically growing, they could look so totally different than what they used to be that they might as well be a different group.
Well, no, but that's not necessarily what I mean by go on forever. I mean, like, there hits a point where that, because of that motive of growth, it's not going to happen. Simply because people are just going to get over it. The thing is that with those type of content creators, I guess, they do not adapt well to a new environment. And I'd say that's a fairly safe and reasonable argument.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. It's just from our perspective, that changing environment cannot come fast enough.
That that's that's fairly true. I can see that.
Because there's just so many people that are just being so not cash money right now.
That's
You
super
feel?
fair. Yeah.
It was a very cash money of you, my guy.
Well, I guess if this is all really to be said on this, because it's really hard. You don't want to be a dead horse, especially with something like this, because if we just focus on this too long, it's gonna become a dragged out, overdone topic. So let's go on to the next.
Just as a final thing, if anyone is looking for more information on it, Lasercorn is doing a lot of. He's done a couple videos that are looking at it really well.
And I'll leave links to those down in the description below. Next up on our list of things to say and do, let's talk about the Ultimate Masters Reveal with that new set from Wizard of the Coast. Like, first off, that MSRP jump to, like, what was it, like $350?
I think you said like 320 or something.
Yeah,
Just something bizarre that they should never have jumped it to.
And what's worse is that that's jumping booster packs like up to like what, $15 a piece. It doesn't make any sense.
Money.
It's a lot of money, and considering that the original master sets were $7 a piece, like for a pack, like what happened? Like, where did they think that, oh, if we up the price of these packs, it's gonna justify the?
Didn't they also drop the number of packs per box?
Yeah, I think it's like down from 32 to 24 per box now,
Yeah.
which is another
The
issue
math
in of
just
itself.
isn't adding up.
However, that being said, and hopefully we'll be able to get these up on the screen for you. Some of these four like buy a box promos are amazing. Like
Yeah,
the
some
Liliana,
are
the Veil
really
one, the Dark Depths one, like those are absolutely crazy.
Dark
The
Depth
problem
3.
is that you know that there's going to be people who will get like some commander for that's not going to be worth anything for putting in nearly a $400 investment in a product that's not worth that much and get the worst lottery card out of the set, which just feels bad.
Yeah. I mean that's kind of part of the risk that you run in that instance though. Because like if you're buying boxes to try and get a specific card, then I don't know, I think you're already making a poor not business. What's the word I'm looking for? Financial
Investment.
decision. Just a poor financial investment overall.
But the thing is that this has been sort of a problem with Masters boxes after the first couple, was that the first couple were actually good financial investments, then for a reason they decided to screw over the whole Masters series, which doesn't make any sense because the whole point of Masters series is to correct the market prices on some overpriced Eternal cards. And when you're making a Master Series, you're upping the price, and then you're putting in lottery cards, and then you're making it even harder to get to. You're almost doing absolutely nothing for the greater market, which is pretty atrocious.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
just
hopefully they get some good old karma in the ass for that one, and I hope the card prices kind of hopefully fix themselves. I can't imagine they'd fix themselves too well just with the raw pricing of the boxes and packs and everything, but
I mean, it's also hard because you're having a set where Liliana the Veil, Snapcaster Mage, Tarmogoyf, Dark Depths, Karakas, and so many more staples are just in the set inherently, meaning that most of your mythics are just flat out value. The problem is that they're overpricing the set so much that it's not going to matter that they reprinted those cards in the first place.
But Karn Liberated, though.
The Karn Liberated looks amazing. Like, wow.
quick, David, go buy a case. I'm sure you'll get a Karn in there.
I probably would, knowing my luck.
I mean, a whole case, I would imagine that you would at least get a Karn. As to if you'd get multiple Karns, that's a question. Because you're also getting 4 of those box topper buy a box promo things as well.
That's very true.
So I would argue that it's pretty high you get pull a Karn out of that. But all this to say is just that the fact they're raising the price like this is not a good sign for future products coming out of them. Like, they were doing really well with the stuff like the what were they called? The Challenger decks were really good. And the Battle Bond set or whatever it was amazing. Like, those were some great sets. And then we had
You just like
Dominaria.
Battle Bond because you want your foil true name Nemesis. Don't you lie to me.
No, I like that set because it's actually like a great set. Well, not only was it a great draft unlimited set, but it was an amazing set for value. Like, even right now, I'm pretty sure its EV is still better than Dominaria.
One of these days I'll teach you when I'm memeing.
For people who are curious, though, you can get a good deal. You can get 3 packs for only $35 instead of the because they're like $14 a piece for each booster pack. You could get 3 packs for $35.
That's absolutely atrocious. I don't like that at all.
Dude, that'll be like what? Like, how many cards are in Magic packs? Like 11 or something?
15.
15, so you can get 40. Dude, that's almost $1 a card. It's value.
Man, I hope that these comments are coming out of this set are so good that they must if we're not getting
Tarmogoyf at common.
No, if we aren't getting Oubliette reprinted at common, then I'm not happy with this set at all. And only because it's
set anyways.
Even the problem is that in order to justify this value for a set, you have to make the set absurd. I'm talking every single card you open from a pack has to be playable in a format.
Jace the Mind Sculptor, common.
So, something I'm curious about, because I know much less about Magic, is some of these cards I'm seeing are becoming gold quality when they used to be orange.
Mm-hmm.
Like lava claw reaches, because I can freaking speak.
Yeah.
Is that tanking the value or something?
What do you mean by
I think that he means something printed at mythic quality before is getting printed at rare quality now.
Yeah. Like Noble Hierarch or Lava Claw.
So generally speaking, the reason why they would do something like that is because if it goes from a mythic to a rare, there's going to be more of it within the supply pool, so that the price should, in theory, go down.
Or Kitchen Finks is going down to silver.
The only issue of that, though, is that even if you're reprinting it down at a lower rarity, if the set itself has a more limited run than other sets, then it's not going to matter.
And an insanely jacked up price.
Yeah, it almost completely negates the whole good part of reprints even happening in the first place.
Yeah, it's just kind of why are you going to bother to reprint these at all if you're just going to make it shit?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, especially because, at least for me, for those of you who don't know, I play a lot of formats like Legacy and Modern, so obviously my decks end up being stupidly expensive as it is. But even though I am willing to justify paying that much for it, that doesn't mean that everyone should, and it doesn't mean that I think that it's right to be paying that much for it. In fact, I probably have a pretty obvious view on the reserve list and amongst other things, even though I own reserve list cards, because look, I get it, it's a collector's item, and those older cards, no matter what, are always going to be collector's items,
Yeah.
but to not reprint them to give access to all players at least a reasonable way of getting into these older formats. Like,
Yeah, like
who are,
vintage is essentially like, unless you want to like take out a second mortgage on your house, you're not getting into vintage.
I
Well,
just
it's
don't,
like freaking Snapcaster Mage is like $70 for
Mhm.
just that card for the reprint. And, like Tarmogoyf
Boy,
is
that's
$90,
amateur hour.
or Temporal Manipulation is
Let me
$85.
tell you a tale about Gaia's Cradle.
Well, I'm just talking about specifically like these cards
$400 a
that are.
card.
Or
Yeah,
$350
I'm just
or
talking about
some shit.
specifically these cards that they're coming out with the Ultimate
Yeah.
Masters.
and the thing is, it doesn't make sense, because, like, let's look at the facts here. Even if they reprint, like, these older cards in a newer set, as long as you're not reprinting them in the standard, who cares? Like, the old cards, because they were like, they're always going to be the old cards. They're always going to hold that collector value. Yeah, they might drop a little bit based off of the fact that less players are going to be buying old cards and more like actual collectors, which is probably also good for the market for investors. But second, why is it a problem? Why are we making it an elitist thing to play a card game? Mind you, a card game that was supposed to be made for like teenagers.
Yeah,
It,
I
Back
mean
in
the
the
same thing
olden
happens with
times.
Pokemon. To be fair,
it just doesn't make sense to me. I think it's kind of asinine at this point.
it's true.
Anyways, all this Magic talk has me wanting to think about a new, more hype thing, much related to Ravnica. Let's talk about the Guildmaster's Guide.
Alright, lads. So, for those of you that don't know, Dungeons and Dragons is owned by Wizards of the Coast. Magic the Gathering is also owned by Wizards of the Coast. So, I think it was pretty much inevitable that the two would eventually clash. But the newest compendium added to the roster of Dungeons and Dragons is the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. It is a book that adds 2 new subclasses, I believe 8 new races, as well as backgrounds for every guild in the plane of Ravnica. And if you get it in a bundle on Roll20, you get a bunch of tokens and maps to go along with it. Now, I have read a good deal of the compendium already. I used it as some intelligence fodder on my train ride to and from my house. And holy shit, I love it so much already. They do an excellent job going in depth about each of the guilds and developing a legitimate structure to each one of them, to the point of you can legitimately be in, like, for example, with the Izzet League, whatever they are. I forgot what their actual title is. The sciencey dudes that blow stuff up. I'm talking to you, freaking you, Brian, you nerd. If you get to the top renown rank in that guild, you can essentially or not even essentially, you will literally become part of the council to Niv Mizzet himself.
Yeah, I've just been listening to you talk about it just in between our own personal conversations, and all I can say as someone who loves the lore of Magic the Gathering, especially like Ravnica lore, I'm just hyped to see what the different guilds, like how they interact with each other from an in-game perspective in D&D, and also how D&D tries to flesh out that lore a little bit more. Mostly because, well, yeah, the storytelling elements of Magic the Gathering do a pretty significant job of explaining the lore. Going into it from a gameplay perspective and actually getting that more slice of lifestyle effects that you get from playing D&D, I'm just excited to see where that takes us in terms
Slice of
of.
life, more like group of barely functioning individuals.
That's fair.
So you're just gonna make me play Rogue and just to make your life hell, right?
Shut the fuck up, you Demir piece of shit.
Also, while we're on the topic, I just want to let everyone know that Evenlight will be actually posting videos of a whole series of our campaign on through to Guilds of Ravnica, as well as some other videos regarding that. So hopefully soon I'll be able to post some links to that up on my channel so that you guys can check that out.
Yeah, I will be doing a campaign, Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, specifically within that universe. I'm going to limit it as much as I can to stuff that pertains to that universe, although there's only a limited amount I can really do with that, because a majority of it seems to be regarding the guilds as opposed to classes or anything, because I mean, as much as I would love to see stuff like a planeswalker class or subclass or something, it would just end up probably being too much like the wizard or the sorcerer to really warrant a whole class around it. But I will be recording our campaign with it. I may stream it as well. I have no idea. I have not decided that yet. I still need to flesh a lot of things out. But it will have me being the DM, and then Brad and David here both playing in it, as well as two of our other friends.
Well,
Really quick, I will say maybe we could get some links in the down there for people's of the stuff and things. If they don't want to just watch it and want to play it themselves, you can get the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica at any like local store or anything like that, or Amazon. But for the people who are going to be playing it digitally like us, it is available through like Fantasy Grounds and Steam, not just Roll20.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as well as D&D Beyond for the people who are hardcore nerds. But if you're hardcore nerds, you already know that this is where you buy the D&D stuff. So
You can also get it on Roll20, where where it has an entire pack. It's where I personally bought it because map pack and token pack
it's
is
the
also
same.
pretty nice.
Yeah, that's the same is true for the Fantasy Grounds Steam and D&D Beyond and things. We use Roll20. Other people use the Fantasy Grounds for their digital
I've never
things.
even heard of Fantasy Grounds.
I just want to say real quick, hashtag not spawn, but if you want to sponsor us, I'd appreciate it, quite frankly.
Dude, I'd be down as fuck.
Dude,
Send Terry Cruisen, please. I want to do a campaign like that.
Wizards of the Coast, just sponsor us, please.
Wizards, please.
We'll straight up animate this. We'll go ham on this.
Dude, Brian will get on his knees.
Please.
And I don't mean just to beg.
No, let's not add that part.
I'll add
but
that
yeah,
part.
so just to reiterate one more time, just 3 days ago, November 9th, it did come out digitally. The hardcover version comes out on the 20th. That is when the book is available. We are recording this as of the 12th of November, so Tuesday, the 20th, is when the book is released. Get it? It's
For
super
$49.
Well, I actually want to go back to something you had said where you were suggesting a Planeswalker class, and this is just because I know the lore of Magic real quick, is that you don't want a Planeswalker class in a D&D campaign. That will actually just flat out break your game. Because lore-wise, they are busted.
So they're just basically level 20 wizards, okay.
You have to remember, Planeswalkers, they're not a new thing, even to D&D. People have been making Planeswalker classes since late 2nd edition.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's so many different homebrews of Planeswalkers and stuff. And while, yes, they are essentially just wizards, they're all over the fucking place.
They're hoppy wizards.
It's ridiculous.
The other thing, the reason why I bring that up though is that if we're gonna use it within the context of Magic the Gathering lore, you wouldn't want a Planeswalker class unless you're willing to have someone who can basically just fuck up your whole game.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like having a 20th level wizard.
Yeah.
It's just like, I
Well, of
get
course
to
it would
literally bend reality.
Well, of course, you'd have to scale it down so that they slowly gain power, because
Dude, we'll just
not
put them down to
not
Tibalt
everybody
level.
just immediately is as strong as possible. Nobody
See,
starts
that's
way.
that's where you just tone your whole adventure to be of a planeswalker adventure level.
So you just
Just-
make an epic level campaign,
Yeah,
or you
be
just
like
make everyone
Epic
as weak as
Plus.
Tybalt. I'll get them.
dude.
Shots fired.
Don't you ever bring that name into this holy channel again?
Dude, you don't even know. He he
I
he'll-
refuse.
he fought Chandra and apparently got her down on her knees, according to a new comic cover.
Ah,
So apparently Tybalt beats Chandra. Like if it's like rock paper scissors, it's like Bolas Tybalt Chandra. Tybalt beats Chandra apparently.
dude, something
That's a-
I'm really excited to see is they've already made a level 1 adventure within the Guildmaster's Guide, Krenko's Way. But so this is just the compendium, of course. So I'm really excited to see what actual written adventures they end up making for this, because I guarantee they're going to make some. There's no way that they're going to finally integrate Magic the Gathering fully into D&D, like in this entire official thing, and then just not make actual campaigns for it. Because they have so many established characters, it'd be so easy to do. It's
That's
like,
fair.
whoops, and Nico Bolas is being a dick again. You gotta go stop
That-
him.
That's fair, but I have one counter argument to you. It's Wizards of the Coast.
That's a fair point.
Exactly.
I will accept that point. You
well,
did get me there, coach.
well, going on to the next topic, only because this is really sad. It actually just happened the day of recording of this video. Stanley Ripperoni's my guy.
God, it feels like losing that favorite uncle or grandpa that like always showed up and just made you happy.
Gotta
It's just,
say
like,
though,
fun.
like he was like he was literally the Hugh Hefner of the nerd world.
It's
Like
so
hell
he
true.
lived a good life. He was 95 and he had a hell of a run.
Oh,
So
hell
did-
yeah.
So did any of you guys ever get to see him in person?
Nope.
No.
I actually did at a Kamikaze. I think it was in 2016. I went with a friend, and I remember seeing him, and it was a long ass line. People for whatever reason were bringing their fucking Superman comics to get signed by him, like that
That's
kind
awesome.
of heresy.
That's oof. That's the
That
biggest
is
oof, my guy.
that is super heresy. And he even was like saying how, well, I didn't write this or create this, but I'll sign it for you, I guess. And
Amazing.
I don't. And I just remember when I saw him way back when, like he was
Back
just
in,
covered. He was just surrounded by security guards, and I just thought that was like.
Well, he's an
wild.
old guy. Like you could throw a pebble at him and you might break something. Old people are
That's-
frail.
That's fair. Maybe that's how he went down. Just a pebble.
Just a rogue pebble. The bed creaked in the wrong direction and he just
Oh no.
bam, done. Is this too
No,
soon? I feel like
No,
this is too soon.
No, because I think how he actually passed is that he was suffering from pneumonia.
Yeah, I did hear
unfortunate.
like it was, of course, luckily, he's a good famous person. No drugs, no alcohol, no nothing. I believe he just passed away in his sleep.
Yeah. No, so the paramedics were called this morning to go over to his mansion, I'm guessing. And he was rushed to Cedar Sinai in somewhere up there, wherever the heck that is, and he apparently died at the hospital.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Before we go, though, I do want to add one last topic to talk about, only because Wilder brought it up. Let's talk some League of Legends. Like,
Oh boy,
Oh,
oh
get it.
boy.
Really quick before
Let's
I
get in
forget, people who are playing hard copies, WizKids is going with the fucking Creature Forge for Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast, and they've made a bunch of miniatures that are specific to the Ravnica universe and things if you're playing at home.
it is really cool. I actually
God
have
damn
one
it! Why
that's a
can't I have
fairy.
any money?
I actually have one that's a fairy. I've been using it for my commander deck. It's
Oh
super
wait, is that
fun.
the one I gave you?
I don't know if you gave it to me, but
Because I remember I got a zombie one. Wait, are those the ones that they were selling at the shop?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Oh,
speaking
so I do
they're
have a couple of
specific
those,
to
yeah.
the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica campaigns and things.
Oh.
They are specific miniatures that are for
Oh,
the Ravnica campaigns from Wizards of the Coast.
Brian, why would
There's
you lie to me?
miniatures starting to be
See,
made.
I didn't know that. I just had gotten them at my LGS, and I had gotten them for commander
Yeah.
purposes.
The other miniatures have obviously been made and everything. I was saying that they have started to make miniatures for this campaign
Shit, I'll have
or
to.
for this.
Dude, I
campaign
still
world.
need to get one off of fucking Hero Forge. Oh my god. I wish I had money I could just dump into miniatures, dude.
Me too.
Yeah, if we're talking about League of Legends, it's just gonna put it out there that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm really bad at the game.
That's
Hey,
fair.
I mean, you know enough to kick people's asses as Darius.
Dude, I play a mean fucking Darius. I just really hungry.
Dude, I remember back in the day, my favorite memory ever as playing Darius was before the Juggernaut update when they changed how he worked, and he still had an instant cast Q. And fucking our bot lane tower was it was nearly destroyed. It had a sliver of HP left. So I decided I'm going to stand there and defend it with my life. And they kept coming at us like one or two at a time. And we got like 15 kills on them to the point where we got enough gold that we could actually start pushing back and we won the game. All because
That's
they
awesome.
wanted that one tower. It was amazing. I loved that game so much. They were tilted
love-
out of their minds.
Like, I don't even have that many old memories of Darius because, like, I played him a while back. I played a few other friends, but like just like yesterday, just like the other day, I was playing Darius, and I think it was what was her name? She has like sword feet. God damn it, I can't remember her name.
Camille?
Yeah, Camille. Camille and Yi were top, and they just—I don't know why they were top, but they just kept being top. And
It's because I'm willing to bet one of them was supposed to be jungle, but they forgot Smite.
yeah,
Because
they-
nobody on their team had Smite.
Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, they were top, and I remember going down there, and I think you were jungling. You would come up and you would help me every once in a while.
Yeah, I was playing Kayn that game.
And they were attacking the tower because you were doing something. I can't remember what you were doing, but I just got back from spawn, and it was right after I had bought my cleaver, and I was going back top lane just to go back, and they were attacking that tower, and I first initially went in on Camille because I have no issues. I have no problem fighting them under tower. If they want to fight me under tower, that is their problem. But and like I kind of was like backing off a little bit because I didn't want to chase him because he was still at full health, but I'd gotten some good damage on Camille, and like Camille turned around and was just like apparently really thirsty and wanted to kill me, and I just destroyed her and was able to just turn around on Master Yi, and I think that's about